So hello, everybody, and a very warm welcome to our webinar today. We are absolutely thrilled to be at this point where we're ready to introduce you to the Microsoft Teams and Quitch integration and collaboration. And speaking of Microsoft Teams, I would like to warmly welcome our guest today, Jason La Greca. So Jason and I have been working for some months now on getting this all up and running. So Jason is head of higher education experiences for the APAC region with a background in both product engineering and education. I've got to say, Jason, a unique species, I think you are from my experience, but I'm very grateful that Stephen from Abrams, of course, from the US, introduced us some months ago, finding that he felt Quitch was a solution that Microsoft Teams currently didn't have. And so we made that introduction. So Jason, we wouldn't be here without you. And I do want to sincerely thank you for all the guidance and insights that you have offered myself and the team over the last number of months to get us to this point. Jason, I will ask you to kind of give the audience a bit more on your background and so on, and perhaps what you're excited about for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So hi, everyone. I'm Jason. Again, thank you for having me here. I'm actually really excited to be a part of the experience that we're bringing to Teams. I think it's a unique one. I think it's something that adds tremendous value to the classroom experience, be that in corporate settings or be that in K-12 or higher education. But yeah, my background, I am an educationalist by trade. I actually came from K-12 teaching. I spent many years as a teacher, and found my way into higher education as an academic, where I've spent a fair bit of time lecturing and also implementing large scale learning management system integrations, but also technology stacks, things like data lakes, data integration. And that's where I spend most of my time these days, is thinking big picture about what is the best experience for students, what is the best experience for educators, and how do we make it all work under the hood with higher education institutions that have, let's be honest, hundreds of applications and things that they run to, keep their line of business operational. So that's where I spend my time. Again, what I'm most excited about for Quitch and the integration is really, and I think I said it to you before, I love the idea of having the mobile device being a sort of controller for the meeting experience. I think that's really cool. And as a gamer, someone that spends way too much time on Xbox and way too much time on the PlayStation, I love the idea that I can use my device and play a game during a meeting, but also learn things as a part of that experience. I think that's unique. I have never seen anybody do that before. So the gamification element. The other part is the data. So I obviously love data, and I love visualizing data, and I love the novel approach that you've taken to showing students their own progression, and obviously dashboarding that back to the educator so that they can enhance the learning experience in the classroom, or potentially augment what they've done in the quizzing side of things in Quitch. So that's what I love about the experience. I'm looking forward to getting it out there. I'm looking forward to having some of our friends that I can see in the participants list. I know a few of those names getting out there and trialing it.
Yeah, great. Thanks so much, Jason. Well, we're very pleased to have you on this journey with us, and we too think it's a unique experience. So excited to get it out there. And I'll probably just start off by saying that possibly a number of the attendees today, I think, are already Quitch users, and there's some new people there as well. So if you are already a Quitch user, it's simply a matter of getting the instructions from the Quitch team on how you now can integrate it with Teams. So that's all up and running. We can just send you that package, if you like, for your Teams IT people to get it up and running for your organization. Jason and I can help them through any questions they may have there. If you are new to Quitch, then you will need to, of course, set up a Quitch account initially. And then, of course, once that's done, it's easy to offer you that package where you can integrate it with Teams as well. So we're very excited, as Jason said, about what this can offer for both educators and indeed students. In terms of that, Quitch was designed initially as a tool for outside of the class. But as Jason said, as that educator, to be able to get that data in real time while you're running the class through Quitch and through while your students are having fun, while they're learning, is going to be a great way forward for us all. So what I'm going to do is we're going to run through a short demo on how Quitch and Teams works together. I'll step you through that. And of course, happy to answer any questions that you may have. You probably all know that I talk fast. So if I do talk a little too fast, just stop me at any point and ask us to review that particular section for you. You can also, of course, pop any questions you have in the chat function. We've got Rafa, who our customer success person, is here with us today as well, and we'll happily support any steps you need to take you going forward into implementing this for your learning group. So I'm just going to hop over now and show you how it all actually works. And I'm going to take you right back to the beginning. And so what you can see here is we've set up our meeting in Teams. So we're going to give, of course, your meeting a title. You're going to invite some people to your meeting, and then let's step through how this whole process actually works. So I've got my meeting, and it might be an introduction to accounting. That's near and dear to my heart, whatever your particular class is. And now we're going to invite some users to the class, which will, of course, now allow us to add that Quitch app to the experience. So you can see here that we've gone to the meeting. We're going to stop here for a moment. I've invited my user. I've given my meeting a title or my class. And you can see now that we've got the option here where we've got this plus tab up the top to add Quitch to the experience. So you have, of course, already set up your Quitch class in the portal with your various topics and so on. And now you're inviting your students, of course, to join you in the class. So we're going to add your Quitch app here. You can select it there. And here's some information for you, maybe some new information you don't know about Quitch, or if you haven't used Quitch before, lots of information for you there on what it will do for your learning experience. So we've added our Quitch app. We, of course, you can now log in using your Microsoft sign-on. So we've got single sign-on with Microsoft. That's all up and running. So you simply sign in here with your educator account of Microsoft, adding in, of course, your password, and you can look to save that perhaps going forward, but we'll just step through all of these particular elements of it for you. And I'm going to stop here now for a moment, and you'll see you might have a number of classes in Quitch. So you want to focus on whichever class and whichever topic you're running in this particular meeting. So again, you may have a number of topics, but let's say we want to select that class, and now we want to select that particular topic. So we're going to save that. And what we're going to do now, you'll see that we've got our unique traffic light system in Quitch. This blue indicates that nothing has yet happened. No questions have been answered. So we have no data on that particular topic. What we expect to see as our students come in and begin answering these questions, we'll see our accuracy level populate. So the accuracy is based on the number of attempts you're taking your students, for example, to get those questions correct. What the completion rate is, how many resources they've viewed, and how much time they have spent playing. So it's obviously vacant at this stage, and we will see this populate as our questions are answered and as our students engage with the content that we've pushed out to them. So I'll close this tab for a moment for you. And now I want to take you in where we're going to schedule the topic to go out to your group. So I might want to schedule it for half an hour into my meeting, or I might want to schedule it for right now. As I push it out, I have everything ready to go. And now that I can see that this schedule is now ready to go to our students. So I'm going to join here. And I'm going to just step through as people are joining my meeting. We will now, as the educator, you will start to see everybody come into the forum for you. And you can see now that we've got our Quitch tab up the top. And now what I want to show you is from the educator point of view, I can see now everything that's happening. So I'll see this is the list of questions I've prepared for my students. I'll see as this begin to answer, I'll see the accuracy completion. I will also be able to see the leaderboard and how they're performing in real time, making this a really interactive experience. As Jason said, they'll be on their mobile device, and I, as the educator, will be able to see all of this activity taking place. So here again, I can, as Rafa is showing us, we can see the leaderboard. I've got a couple of students already enrolled. And what I want to do now is I want to take you across and to show you the experience of the student. So here you will share the QR code through a link with the students. They will simply scan this QR code on their mobile device and it will take them directly to the class and topic that you want them to focus on. So let's say that Rafa is my student. So we can see here, this that you see here is now the student view. So we can see before Rafa gets started, we can see obviously no data here, but as she begins to answer questions, we will see her progress in this completion rate. We'll see how many questions she got correct. She will see how many she attempted, and she will see how her performance is going compared to the class average. So let's have a look at, as she answers some questions, what happens here. So what we want to do, she can also have a look at the leaderboard, of course. But what we want to do now is see, as she answers some questions through Quitch on her mobile device, and she's going to answer some questions, of course, on accounting and starting a business. We can see she's earning some badges as she works her way through this. And she's earned a correct badge there. See if she has any other badges she can earn. She didn't do so well that time. And now she's going to update her results through Teams. And she can see now that she's completed 2% of the material available to her. She can view the leaderboard. She's now answers more questions. And what we can see now is the Aqua Badger is Rafa. So I can always see as a student, I can see a summary of how I'm performing. So this student, Rafa, has earned 60 points. But we can see that the person at the top of that leaderboard has earned 336. Aqua Shark is on 333, terrible numbers for an Irish person to say, but nonetheless. And then we've got Copper Dolphin, we can see at 328 there. So Rafa, as the student, she can see what the performance of her colleagues is. So she knows she's a lot of work to do to get to the top of this board. She can look at her own activity. She has answered 9 questions. She's had 7 correct. But we can look at our colleagues and we can see that this next person has in fact spent 39 minutes in there, whereas Rafa was only spending a few minutes. So let me just go back there 1 second for you. And we can see that what her activity level is, and we can see then what our colleagues' performance is around that leaderboard, all of those other performances there as well. So making it again fun and interactive for the students as they learn. So I now, as the educator, I can see how the performance of my students are going. So you'll see this as the educator, you could see it populating there, that they have an accuracy of 63%. They've got a completion rate of 20% of the material available to them. And my little traffic light system here again indicates how each of the individual questions is performing. So we can see here some are green, so I'm not going to worry about those. That means the majority of my students understood that material, but it will guide me to these red and orange questions that clearly there was an issue there and there was a lack of understanding. So what I want to do is I want to know in real time what's happening, and therefore I can actually see what's going on and what to focus on. So the students have, in our focus groups with students, they've said they want to know what's happening in real time. They want to get those answers in real time and not wait until the next time they go back into class and so on. So remember, all of this they are doing on their mobile phone. So then as the educator, you can see here now that we've got this traffic light system is happening here. And we can see now that module 1 has turned this kind of yellow-orange color. This means they've done okay, but not great. Okay, so it means that I want to spend some more time and work out what is it that they've really struggled with and work my way through those difficult questions for them. I can also see that the analytics, as Jason said, a lot of analytics here can take me right down to the question level as well. And I can see what percentage of students chose each of those different answers. The difference with Quitch here is that it's not just a snapshot or a point in time, but you will have all of this data from the first day of your course right through till the end. The student as well will have all of this data in terms of how they're performing, again, showing them through that traffic light system on the app what they need to focus on, that personalized feedback to the student. Really important, is something they've specifically asked for some time. So working our way through this, you can see all of this. We can see how many seconds they were allowed to answer that question and so on. And what I want to do now is I want to be able to actually, once I've looked at the data, and this is around the performance of the content, what I want to do now is I want to focus on the performance of the student. So I could see as a cohort how the content was performing and focused on that. Now I've come to the end of my session and I want to see, for example, Jason or Rafa are at risk. At risk is defined as those who are attempting the questions but getting less than 50% right, versus another band we have is those who have not participated. And that means they have gone to the trouble of logging in and registering, but have in fact not answered any questions. Our research tells us that these students are completely overwhelmed by the content. So I want to send those students, I want to actually send different messages to those. So here I could send my message through Microsoft Teams. It will go directly to the student's mobile device, this announcement. So I've at risk not participated. Again, I might want to send that announcement directly after class, or I might decide to wait until the next morning, but I can do it immediately now that I have all of this data on front of me. And that will get, as I said, that will ping out to the student's mobile device. And you can see there, we've got all of our traffic light system happening in terms of performance, in terms of the individual questions, how they're performing, and also, of course, then in terms of the actual student performance, identifying those who were at risk, and also, of course, identifying those who have not participated. It also, of course, tells me about my top performers. And again, I can send announcements out acknowledging their performance and how well they've done on a weekly basis or daily basis as I see fit. So I'm going to stop at this point and ask Jason, perhaps if he wants to share anything else there and answer any questions that you may have. Thank you so much.
That was awesome. Thank you so much. I just love the flow. I think as an educator, it just makes so much sense. And for students to be where they natively like to reside on their mobile phones while inside of the meeting, again, it just makes so much sense. I don't have anything more other than I just can't wait to start playing and maybe even using it inside of some of our internal meetings as well.
Yes, great. I think, yeah, there's, and I mean, I think this is the point, Jason. It can be used, as you know, you can pour any content into Quitch. So we know, of course, schools are using it, higher education, vet sector, professional associations and corporate. So it's nice, I think, too, that we can see that journey right the way through, and students coming into higher education, they're used to using it at schools and so on as well. So yeah, so we're very excited to be working with you on this, Jason. So it's great. I'm going to have a look and see if there are any particular questions that we have here. So we're getting lots of good responses. I'm loving this, so that's great. And it looks amazing. Well done. This is great.
Yeah, it's good. So it's good to see. Yeah, so I've actually had a couple of back channels with certain individuals that are in the chat that have gone, oh, wow, this is awesome. So yeah, it's very exciting.
This is great. So, yeah, and so I just say, because I think there are some people who are already using Quitch, as I said, and to get yourselves up and running with the platform at your institution, we can send you through the instructions that we've set up for your colleagues to get that up and running for you. And of course, then there are some people there who may be new to Quitch, and just contact myself or Rafa or support at Quitch, and we can get you up and running in a very quick time as well. So I think probably just some of the other things I'd like to probably reiterate there is the fact that the students, we know they're on their mobile phone. This is why Quitch was built, because this is what the students had said to us. They said they had issues with the learning management system. They were web-based. We don't always have a laptop with us, but we do always have a mobile phone with us. So allowing them the opportunity to use that for good, because they had said, I'll use it to play games if there's nothing else to do, but if you give me something interesting to learn on it, then I'll do that as well. So it's been, as everyone knows, I think it has been co-designed with students. They've been involved in this integration as well. So I want to make sure that we have it all correct. So Jason, Nikki, there's a question there.
So Nikki just had a good question. So in order to get it integrated now, it kind of depends on your environment. And depending on what level of permission your organization has given you to Teams, it could be as easy as uploading the file through the app source, or hopefully soon it'll be a couple of clicks for you to get it up and running. That's the piece we're working on at the moment. Alternatively, I'm happy to work with your IT team to sort of show and sort of train exactly how that might work in their environment. and to put some of the policies and security stuff behind it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Happy to do that. If you reach out to me, ping me on LinkedIn or directly via email, and I can see what I can do. For the others on the chat, I think you know where to find me by and large.
You're well known, Jason. This is good. And Rafa, did you share Jason's details for people there as well? Oh, you did. Yep. So you've got Jason's information on LinkedIn. So yeah, you can reach him there, and that will help you to get up and running.
Yes. So Nikki, please reach out to me. Happy to coordinate that.
That's great. And so we've got another question. Are there additional expenses, or can we integrate into our current team's experience?
So from an integration standpoint, aside from the Quitch licensing, there is no additional cost to implementing this into Teams at all. Once it's in the app source as well, and once we're able to deploy it with a couple of clicks, yeah, again, there still will be no additional cost. It's just part of the experience of Teams as a platform.
And then we've got one other question. The record of students' active engagement might be used to align with their assessment results, a part of an academic integrity check.
Possibly. So this is a question for Quitch, I guess. If we're able to extract that data via a flat file, you could probably correlate that to whatever you're using as your gradebook tool. If that's Teams, that's one thing. If it's something else like a learning management system, then I'm assuming you just need to do a bit of Excel foo to make that work.
Yeah, and that's actually, so at the moment, what we can do on that is we've got, in terms of the student data in Quitch, so it can all be downloaded to a CSV file and then uploaded into your system. But the other part, to make that easier for our customers, we're looking at building an LTI, which we've started to investigate that. So what that will do is it will allow you to push the results from Quitch up into your learning management system, be that Canvas or whatever it may be. And the other thing you'll be able to do is push your student email addresses, for example, from Canvas or whatever the system is into Quitch. So when we've talked to our customers, they're the two things would make life a little bit easier for them. So Kim, hopefully that answers your question. You can do it now through a CSV file, but very soon you will be able to, basically, there will be a system that will push the data into the LMS and collect that student information and push it into Quitch to invite those students. So I think that would be a great in terms of academic integrity. I think it's an excellent question. And then Sharon has asked the question about evidence of participation. And so, yes, so Sharon, in terms of the evidence of participation we have, so you will have a record of every single student who has participated, how much time they have spent in there, every correct and incorrect answer they have, as well as what time they actually logged in. So there's a timestamp as well as the duration of time they have spent in there. So you will have all of that evidence of participation. And again, right now, that's available to download to a CSV file. And then, as I said, very soon you'll be able to upload that into your LMS. So hopefully that answers your question. And Jason, in terms of Microsoft Teams, does Microsoft Teams collect that data while students are active in there as well?
Yeah, so within the meeting telemetry as well, there's a bunch of information that goes through to, if you're using a class team type, then within Insights, you're able to surface things like attendance, you're able to surface things like, what they've been looking at throughout the window. So if they've been looking at a Word document, you're able to correlate that information as well. I guess it's, as well, per organization or per class, what is it that you're trying, what is the question you're trying to answer? But fundamentally, the data is there. You can use what's natively within Teams, if it's a class team type, or again, you're able to extract that data in lots of different ways and visualize that in lots of different ways.
Yeah. So a lot of space there for having that evidence of participation, and as I said, takes it down to that student level. So there's those, I guess, in terms of analytics, those two key elements of Quitch. There's the performance of the content, if you like, so taking you as a cohort, how are they performing, what do you need to focus on, what have they not understood, and then in terms of the performance of the individual student as well. So those two elements, I think, are key to us successfully teaching groups, so that we can see exactly what's going on with that content, exactly what's going on with the particular students. Because of course we know from research that the sooner we intervene and support, the much greater chance that those students have of success. And I mean, I know from my own experience when I was teaching 1,000 students at Swinburne, so 500 in the theatre at a time, and you don't really often know until they're halfway through the semester, when you do that significant piece of assessment, how they're doing. Now, you all may be a lot smarter than me, but if I spent 6 weeks not understanding, it's very, very difficult for me to pick up at that point, which of course is one of the main drivers of Quitch, to be able to support those students, see in real time at the very beginning what's going on, and only then can we really give them, I think, the best possible benefit, the best possible chance of success. It's too late when we're doing what I call our post-mortem, if you like, at the end of semester, and discovered nobody understood a thing I delivered on cash flow statements, for example. I'm not going to be able to help that group of students. So we need to be able to intervene early and support them as soon as we can in that piece.
Yeah, and I think if you couple that with looking at the engagement of students in a platform like Teams, like the collaborative space, helping them throughout the semester by keeping everything centralized, having your ongoing Quitch quizzes as a part of the experience, you actually get a holistic view of the student journey. You get to identify where they're up to in advance, whether they're engaging in advance, whether they're submitting or even engaging with their assessments, how many times they're visiting their assignments. And then if you meet that with, the Quitch data, you actually have a really good picture of student success or potentially student at risk.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We can see the success rate. We can see, who's doing really well, but yeah, importantly as well, we want to see those who are struggling and why is it they're struggling. And I think that's an important distinction we make as well between the at-risk versus the not participated. So the at-risk, they're trying but failing, but that's okay. We now know and we can support them. The not participated, the focus groups I have run, it's always told me that those students, what they've said is that they feel completely overwhelmed by what they've just seen in terms of those questions. So we want to send them a different message. We want to be really supportive, see if we can get them to at least begin to engage, and only then we know through practice can they perform better. And I've seen some of them do some fabulous things once we've got them past that initial hurdle, and getting them to open up a little bit and so on. So is there any other questions you would like Jason and I to answer? And I see Rafa, thank you, Rafa. Yeah, our newsletter, of course, will keep you up to date on everything that's going on with Quitch. And Jason and I, of course, will keep working closely, getting your feedback as you use this and see what are the tweaks, what improvements can we make to make sure we continue to keep on top of that student experience, but also the educator experience. So those two key elements to the solution are critically important. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today and for your questions. And we look forward to continuing this journey with you. And of course, for anybody new, we look forward to beginning the journey with you as we move forward on this integration and so on. And Jason, can I again say a huge thank you from all at Quitch, and I think all of the educators out there, I might say as well, who I think will be really enjoying having this new experience for both themselves and their students. And sincerely, a huge thank you for all of your support, Jason. It's been great. So thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Whatever I can do to help educators out is what it's all about, even if that means sometimes I have to be the bad news bearer internally.
Thanks so much, Jason, and thank you, everybody. We look forward to speaking with you soon. Bye now.